What's up, Gator Nation? Welcome to our latest rapid reaction. I'm coming to you live from Davis-Wade Stadium following Florida's 45-28 win over the Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Gators get their first win in SEC play in their first road trip of the season and snap a 7-game losing streak against FBS opponents. So this was obviously important for Florida for a number of reasons. I think this program was on life support heading into this game. Another must-win scenario for Napier and his future and just the direction of this season. And Nick, offense came out hot, got good play from both quarterbacks. Defense had a strong start to the game and then kind of a lapse there at the end of the first half and in the third quarter. They get the big goal line stand, though, to kind of seal it. And then the Gators get out of here with a double-digit win and 503 yards of total offense. So a lot to like, but still some things to work on as well.
Yeah. Florida, I think offensively, interesting strategy. Billy Napier, as you can see, I'm here, still in Gainesville, stay home with the daughter. But the broadcast said when they met with Billy Napier on Friday that he said DJ Lagway is going to get the third, the sixth, and the ninth drive. Basically, Graham gets 2, DJ gets 1, Graham gets 2, DJ gets 1. And in theory, I agree with that. Like, hey, the quarterbacks have a plan. They know what they're supposed to do. In practice, DJ Lagway gets in on the third drive, and Montreal fumbles, and they lose it. And now DJ's one drive of every 3 is done. So in practice, it ended up working out, and I think that's probably due to Mississippi State being terrible, more so than what the Gators did. And listen, both quarterbacks had really, really good days. I just posted that. If you go to their quarterback progressions, at one point, Graham Mertz had 13 straight completions. He finishes 19 of 21 for 201, 4 total touchdowns. Known dual threat quarterback Graham Mertz gets a rushing touchdown today. And DJ was 7 of 7. And shout out to Austin Barber for falling down on that football.
Big man touchdown.
58 getting his rushing touchdown. So, listen, this is a game that Florida needed to win. Mississippi State had started slow in all 3 of their games. So I don't know that I'm giving Florida's defense a hat tip for looking good early as much as as much as Mississippi State has been bad early. And when I look at these numbers overall, Florida gave up 240 rushing yards to a team that Toledo held to 66 last year.
And I mean, they ranked 114th in the nation in rushing offense. I mean,
they didn't even try to run the ball. They had no interest. They were throwing the ball quick. And then they get to play Ron Roberts' defense, and they're like, oh, we can just run.
Yeah, the Gators got no push up the middle. That's supposed to be the strength of your defense. And obviously the Gators were missing their defensive linemen that were out. I think particularly Mekhi Barrow is a guy that they need in their D-line rotation, especially at that nose tackle spot. That means more snaps for Desmond Watson. So, it was not good to see the way that they gave up 2 touchdowns in that third quarter. And again, I mean, they were right there knocking on the doorstep to score for a third time at the start of the fourth, and the Gators make a good play there to get the goal line stand, and that kind of decided the game right there.
Really good play by Pup there, too. It's kind of like stay with it, force the pass, or force the pitch. There were some good moments, some good things to take away. I just think overall, giving up 480 yards to that team, that offense. Like, listen, you needed a win. Florida had to have a win. At the end of the day, we can pick apart the win. It's better to win in Starkville than lose in Starkville.
Yeah, and look, this is not a place that the Gators have won often. This is a place that Steve Spurrier never came and got a win as Florida's head coach. The cowbells are different. Nick, they weren't very loud today. The stadium wasn't packed like it was for you in 2018, but they didn't have Dan Mullen returning to coach against his former team. I think they were a little bit more amped up for that matchup than what we saw today. I mean, it was still a cool atmosphere. Campus is nice, but Florida kind of took control of this game pretty early. And I'm with you. You make a great point. I wrote about it, talked about it on the board. Like, you get a 21-7 lead. You've got it humming on offense. Your quarterback, Graham Mertz, who's been just trying to find himself this season, finally has some confidence going and is playing well. And then you get the ball back inside your own 10-yard line. you put your true freshman in that situation by sticking to the plan, he has the potential to make a mistake, throw a pick, allow MSU to get back in the game right there, on the Florida side of the field. And credit to DJ Lagway and Billy for kind of sticking with his plan. Not only did he lead them on a 91-yard touchdown drive, he had another possession where he was backed up inside his 10 and led them again on a touchdown drive after the turnover on downs on the goal line stand. So, look, Lagway was sharp, 7 of 7, had some nice runs as well. And again, didn't get credit for the rushing touchdown because he did fumble. But I thought there was good things from both quarterbacks. And, man, at receiver, running back, and tight end, the Gators had a multitude of players that showed up today. They got a lot of guys involved in the pass game and the run game. And to be honest, Nick, again, this is against a very poor Mississippi State defense, but I think ideally this is what Florida's offense would look like in a perfect scenario. Your quarterbacks going in the game, alternating series, both of them having touchdown drives and success, and you get a bunch of guys involved at the skill positions. This is kind of what they envisioned their offense to look like. I mean, even Tony Livingston was making catches today. But we all know that this is not a very good Mississippi State defense or team. Can the Gators do that coming off the bye week when the competition gets tougher?
Yeah. Probably a good bye week to have, considering how many guys were out this week as well. Use this week to get healthy. But I've got, if you're looking ahead, major concerns about that run.
Enjoy the win, Nick.
Yeah, major concerns. We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. Today, what was the sense you got from talking to the players? It's been, I joked, the season is 21 days old. It feels like it's 2,100 days old. What was the sense you got from Austin Barber, Billy Napier, Graham Mertz, just getting a win?
Yeah, if you guys didn't see the video, go check it out on social media. I posted on X, and it'll be available on our YouTube channel as well from the player post-game press conference. But a really cool moment there for Austin Barber. First of all, he came in the press conference just all smiles, knowing that he was going to get asked about his touchdown, get to talk about it. And then he's sitting there. They had the TV on right there. And he looked up at the screen when Florida's box score was on ESPN, and it showed him with the rushing touchdown. And a really cool moment for him to see his name on ESPN, his players and teammates react to it. And, there was just a feel-good moment for them, Nick, which they have not had yet this season. I mean, the Sanford win, that was kind of just the DJ Lagway show that day. But I mean, I think that they really needed this. This was a confidence booster for Graham. I think defensively, they had their moments. There's a lot to be not like, and as Napier said, they disappeared at points. But they had some things that they did that they kind of felt like they could build on and felt good about. They did have Ron Roberts in the box for the first time this season. They felt like that was a little bit more beneficial for them. But again, they just to go out there and have some 3-and-outs, a turnover on downs, some momentum early in the game to allow your offense to jump out to a big lead. They just did things in this game that they can feel good about and go back on tape and say, hey, man, we are capable of doing these type of things. And as Billy said in the post-game press conference, it's about now doing it consistently and, of course, as we all know, against better competition.
Yeah. I wonder if it'll be a year where that Florida plays and wins against bad teams, and what we've seen the last 2 games look that way. But speaking of bad,
shout out to Rocco Underwood.
Rocco playing the Underwood. Special teams, special plays, special players.
Game changers.
Let's go with what I said instead. But I was saying, speaking of bad, the officiating. The only way that is a blind side block is if Ray Charles is the defensive player, and he's actually blind. I wrote about it today. With as much money that the SEC makes in revenue, And with how much money is gambled, Billy Napier said, like, listen, we have to give availability reports now because of gambling. Can we get full-time officials? I don't want somebody worrying about TPS reports while he's trying to throw a flag on a field on Saturday. And he has to worry about, got to send this email to my boss before I get back to the office Monday or I'm going to get fired. I get that you're only working 3, 4, 5 months at a time, but you make enough money at the SEC and it is enough of a business that you need full-time referees. It's bad in basketball and baseball. It's bad in football. You make enough money. It's time to go full-time referees. I don't know how you call. And poor Aiden Mizell had 2 touchdowns called back today.
2 60-yard plus
2
touchdowns.
unbelievable plays.
Yeah, he needs to play more. He was very impressive today, stepping up for Trey Wilson at that Z position. And look, again, a lot to like on the offensive side of the ball, but they know Billy was the first one to say it. They have a lot of work to do. They needed this, obviously, but they also need the bye week to get healthy, to really kind of evaluate what they need to do. And, Billy got him more involved on the defensive side of the ball this week. And, hey, man, didn't take away from the offensive play calling because they had a good game on that side. But, man, they got to be able to build on this. UCF is a winnable game. You absolutely can take a bye, get healthy, come back at home, and win this game. And if you do that, now your season's back on track. And even if you can't go win at Rocky Top, which they probably can't, that's not going to drop you below 500 if you go get a win against UCF. So critical stretch coming up for the Gators now with the bye week, but they took care of business in Starkville. Now 3 straight wins for the Florida Gators here, 6-7 overall. And Nick, you and I get a little bit of a break.
I hope so. Knock on wood. Don't think we'll get any big news this week after a win. So I think it's just relax. We'll still be pumping stuff out. We'll have a show on Thursday. We'll interview the bye week coach. And yeah, it'll be a nice week to kind of relax. It's been hectic, to say the least, these last 3 weeks since the season started.
Yeah. It's like you said, it's felt a lot more than just 4 weeks in. So we'll see where the Gators go from here. They get the dub, first SEC win of the season, snaps the losing streak that everybody had been suffering through. And now we see where the Gators can go from here. I'm going to go back and write some more, be back in Gainesville to rejoin my partner, and we will do what we can to rest up during the bye week before we get back in the swamp for the Gators versus UCF. For Nick Del Torre, I'm Zach Abolverdi. We'll see you guys next time.